Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I am that dude, Bodkins.
Yeah, DP lost like, deep. Yeah.
Right. Where he's wondering, he's like, I
Patty to patty.
He won style, like no weight classes.
Yeah, basically, like I said, there's been a couple guys that are like,
It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy.
That's just not my mentality, bro. Like,
yeah. Leave the ladder down. That's my always like, hey, somebody helped you out. Why not help somebody else out? Return.
Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkins Show.
Or bringing Craig Counsell down the interstate in a move unexpected. I had people.
I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Bodkins Show. I am your host, Bodkins, of course. Oh man, we did the weekly dump this morning with my guy Johnny Cruz. If you missed that, please check that out. It was a great show. We talked about all the things in sports, and plus we gave out our top 5 best women in sports history in honor of International Women's Day yesterday. And then since then, took the boy to get the haircut, and just in the last 60 minutes or so, last hour and a half, 2 hours, we'll say, we've just got a litany of sports news. Real quick to kind of cap it off, Devontae Adams 2-year deal to the Rams. Josh Allen is now the highest paid quarterback, and literally just seconds ago, as I hit the live button, DK Metcalf traded to the Steelers and gets a new 5-year deal. LaRon Landry to the re-teams up with Mike Vrabel. So I mean, we'll talk a little. We probably won't get into. We'll get into some of that stuff tonight a little bit. But tonight, this is, I like to call our Sunday night special, like a Sunday sit down, where we talk to somebody who has another podcast, who has another, whatever it is, artists, musicians, fighters, whoever we can find, whoever we can just kind of sit down and talk with. It's one of my favorite things to do. Sunday conversation, you could say. And nonetheless, is a man tonight. You can find him all over X. He has his own YouTube channel. He puts out several different podcasts. One thing that I enjoy watching this man do is he puts out such great inspirational pieces where he's just kind of talking to you and himself and pushing out great inspiration. The world needs more of that. And why not give us some inspiration on this Sunday? Give it up for the legendary man that is Mista Yu, baby.
legendary. I love you, brother. This is awesome, man. Thanks for having me on, man. I love this, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you again for joining me on this second time out on this Sunday. I appreciate it. Mr. Yu, let's just kind of start there. Like, how did you come up with your podcast and your inspiration and kind of deal it? And then you put out these great inspirational, podcasts, like your inspirational speeches, I guess you could say. Like, I listen to them a couple times when I'm working at the gym and things like that, man. Awesome, so man. I appreciate you bringing light into the world.
Well, I'm trying, man. It was a very strange start, man. I mean, I didn't do what most of our podcasting friends do, man. It was 2020. It was a really horrible time in our country overall. A lot of that stuff hit us personally. A lot of people who were very close to us left us, in my opinion, too soon. So I wasn't in a great state of mind and just had left a long career with the government. Kind of got tired of that for obvious reasons. Didn't feel like I was, knowing what I was going to be doing next. And it kind of just hit me, you know what? I've been doing teaching and preaching and coaching in other places for a long time. It's not a new thing, but on camera, it's brand new. Now, I'm an introvert, so that's not something I want to do, period. It wasn't even on my radar. You know what I'm saying? But that year, I think I was really open to it. The inspiration kind of hit me. And I started doing some little shorts here. And then before you know it, They call me Mr. Yu. The podcast started. I'm starting to do those on a weekly basis. I think maybe three or four a week. To some degree, it was almost a full-time job almost. And I started sprinkling in some wrestling. At one point, I started wrestling shows some guys, and now they took over. We're doing that now. Some sports now. T3 every Thursday night. We're doing that. So it's kind of just been a goal of having a little something for everybody. But basically, if we're going to talk sports, let's talk sports with a heart. That was my main thing. I didn't want to do sports like everybody else was doing it because look around us, man. They got everybody doing sports.
Yeah.
And everybody feel like they're experts on doing so. I didn't want to do that. I want to kind of do something different. So kind of more sports with a heart, get the behind the scenes story, the people, the human part of the story. So that's how it started, man. I think it's been going well. It's been almost 5 years now. I'm excited about what's going on. We got 4 shows. One show getting ready to launch this month on All Giants podcast. It's been a dream for me for a long time. So I'm excited about doing that. That'll be my last show that I create myself. I ain't doing no more than 5 shows. Is a lot. So I'm not, this is I'll guest on any show wherever, but I'm not creating any more shows. I'm done with it. But I don't know if I answered the question, man, but that's how it started, man. I mean, we had so many things going on in our world. I want to kind of speak to it and provide, like you said, some light and some inspiration because, man, our world's going crazy. And to tell you the truth, 5 years later, it still kind of is. So I'm like, I can get some. I can do what everybody else is doing. I try to do me and provide some inspiration and share how I feel and how I think, and maybe encourage somebody to be the best version of themselves. So that was my main goal, man. Long answer, man. Sorry, but yeah, that's the idea.
No, that's. I mean, long form is the best form. You said a couple of things that being yourself. I think is huge when you do these things. Like. And being like, I'm probably myself on. I tell people like I might be cranked up just a little bit on here, just a little, but that's just for like you said. There's a million podcasts, right? There's a million reasons. Yeah. Everybody do it. So what can I do differently to make it better, right? To put my own stamp on it, right? So that's kind of where I come from in that aspect. So I definitely resonate there. You said the military army, like government, is that military or what?
It was local government passports and border security and that kind of stuff. I was doing that over here locally, but it's still government and. That comes to the territory, and after a while, it kind of gets old, man. But I'm an entrepreneur at heart, man. And I think what I did, and this is what a lot of folks, maybe you can relate to this. It's been there since we were little kids, having lemonade stands. It was always there, but we suppress it because we're afraid of failing. So we try to get something stable, like a government job, like what I did. Right. Or get a bunch of degrees and try to leverage ourselves, do all this loan debt we're getting from colleges to leverage ourselves so we can make sure we're in a comfortable place so we can live. I'm like, but in 2020, that was probably the eye-opening year in a lot of ways. I said, you know what? Comfortable ain't gonna get me anywhere. I've tried comfortable. Look where it's got me. I was already married with kids, even had grandkids by then. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what? I got to do something else. So I'm betting on me, man. So the entrepreneur is out. He's loose. If we could do something with podcasting too and turn that into something, a lot of folks are scared of that. I'm not. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for it. So I'm ready to put in the work. So the entrepreneur has been released. He's been unleashed.
Do you think
I'm ready to do stuff?
Do you think like having kids, and like you said, you got grandkids, so like not your kids are old, obviously older, so maybe not. I don't know how many you have, but or it's like depending on you. Like, does that help though? Like, hey, I can step out. Nobody's relying on me.
I mean, not when they're younger. I mean, if fear of God is in you, man, like I got to take care of these people. I got to make sure they eat. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So when they're older, you can definitely get a little bit freer when they're out of the house. You can kind of find yourself at that age. Yeah, most folks are in that. They call it middle age, but I don't want to label folks. But they kind of that midlife thing. And it's like, what? I got to better myself. It's easy to do that when it's just you and your wife in the house. It's easy to do it that way. But so that helped out a little bit. But I think he was always in there crying to get out. Like, let's go ahead and bet on you, man. Let's do some big things, man. Make some stuff happen. So I didn't do that. Not fully, but sort of.
Well, I grew up like, and you're a couple years older than me.
Just a couple? You sure?
But I say that because, like, I grew up in a time where my generation was taught you go to school, you go to college, and you pretty much work for like the man, right? And it's funny, like you witnessed you talked about the lemonade stand. Like that is in every kid, like to chase our dreams and things like that. But like sometimes your dream is like out the norm, right? So like we got the normal society try to tell us, hey man, you got the correct like you can't do this or you can't do that, and they try to stop us from selling that lemonade that we want to sell.
Right.
Instead of buying they want you to buy the lemonade.
There you go. You got it, man. I mean, what I hope happens, and I know this is not really what you asked me, but I hope, because I meet so many guys that are doing podcasts and content creations and whatnot, and all these platforms that offer monetization and whatnot. It's sometimes like pennies on the dollar. It ain't, it ain't what it's meant to be. But there's opportunity to bust out and do some serious things in this media game. And a lot of some real smart guys like yourself and some guys that I've met my 4 years or so out here. Some really smart, sharp guys, man, together, man, doing some stuff. They can build some networks, man. They can really get some stuff done. I'm saying, so it's just a matter of them breaking out of the mindset that, you know what, this is like you said, that, avoid the lemonade stand and going into the comfortable, stable work environment, breaking kind of out of some of that mindset. Man, these guys do some great stuff out here. I'm just waiting for it to happen. I want to see it happen. I want to be a part of it if it's possible, because this great opportunity out here, man. These guys are really sharp and smart, man. They're not just on camera podcasts. Some of these guys are really sharp. They know what they're doing. They got a plan and a goal and a dream. Yeah, man, make that thing happen, man. This opportunity. We can all eat out here. There's plenty of room for us to do some stuff out here, but it's about mindset.
I believe that everybody has a chance to eat. Like there's a variety for everybody. It's, you know what I mean? Like everybody don't got to be the same. You don't have to, you know what I mean? Like there's enough, like sometimes I get discouraged. Maybe I get discouraged or something. Like one thing I've always said, I'm never going to look at numbers. Like I don't really like view like how many views I get right now or anything like that. I view it's like, am I having a good time? Is my guest having a good time? Like those are the things that are important to me right now, right?
Yeah. Same.
And I look at it as like, because sometimes I look at the numbers like, dang, like and then you kind of compare yourself to somebody, and you're like, I feel like I got a better, and you just try to learn, like, hey, what are they doing that the night? It could be some sort of hashtag, right? But I look at it as like back in the days of radio, like everybody had like their own local radio or own, like, hey, this is my favorite channel. Then you go to a different place, you can find a different channel. Like that is podcasts. And now like there's so much, but it's just like, it's the radio these days. So like somebody could come across and be like, you know what, I really like this person. I'm gonna keep up with whatever they're talking about. So I just always try to promise myself, like the day I'm not having a good time though, is a day like it's time to be done. But like as long as I'm having a good time and my guest is having a good time, that's the only thing that really matters to me, because like that's what's important to me.
I love that, man. It's just authentic, man, because it has to start with that.
Yeah.
I know some folks, and I ain't calling no name, dog, because it's not really about them. I know some folks, man, that they start off on the other side. They start off everything that they're doing before and when they hit record. It's all about how many people they can get to look at their stuff and how many likes they can get. And that's a grueling lifestyle, man. That's rough to live for somebody's approval. Man, you can't do that. I've done what you said. I'm not exempt from that. I looked at my likes and my analytics and stuff, and I'm like, man, my numbers suck in this area. I know we better than this, but I hear from people who are just looking for something different, and they tell me how well produced the show is. I'm like, produced, dude. Ain't no real production. I mean, there's some cost to go into this stuff. I mean, I'm not editing. I'm going live most of the time. I'm not editing and stuff. I'm recording. I'm not even editing when I record. I mean, it's like, but they see something. They see something in it that we can't see. Yeah. And honestly, you got to have fun with it. You got to enjoy this, man, because at the end of the day, as long as you got that, it's going to be awesome, man. Most great stuff that we see on TV and on the radio, it came from people just having a good time. Guys, best friends getting together and getting on a microphone and sitting in the room and in a garage and just talking about sports, chopping it up. Or like you said, like the barber shops, guys sitting there just talking shop. That's how great podcasts and missions are born, man. It just you enjoying each other and just doing you. So I'm learning to get back to that. I had me a little fall off last year. I didn't do much collab last year. I was kind of getting in my own head, like, man, should I keep doing this, man? I don't feel like people got my back. I don't feel like people are with me. You know what I'm saying? Not just me being open and transparent. I never said it before. This is a review on your show for the first time premiere. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, I was kind of feeling like maybe I should, end all of this stuff and just quit. I really had those thoughts. I'm like, you know what? 2025, it kind of lit me up. I'm like, yo, I'm here. I know what I'm doing, and this is something that is, I think it's of value. I'm gonna keep going. Do I have 1,000 likes? No. Do I have 100 million people? No. But I'm like, I know people listen to this and they rely on it and they care about what we're talking about. I'm gonna keep this going, man. And if it grows to what we want it to grow, fantastic. But like you said, man, just have fun and enjoy doing you, man.
Yeah,
I love that idea, man. Great thoughts.
That's how I think everybody has come to the one point or another. It's like, do I really want to keep doing this? And then I just try to remind myself, like, we only doing this. Like, what would I rather be doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I ask myself. Like, I don't really have any other hobbies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like my hobby. Like, I suck at golf. Like, I can't hit golf balls. I don't have patience for fishing. So, like, podcasting and talking to people, that's one thing I enjoy doing and talking. You know what I mean? Just enjoy interviewing, talking to people from what all their backgrounds and learning about people and talking sports and having fun. Like, that's my hobby. So that's okay. Like, some people, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm not out here to worry. Like, I just got to try to tell myself that. And then it always does feel good. Like you said, like when people are like, hey man, I enjoy it. Like when it's definitely somebody like not in your circle, right? Like it's somebody that just came across or you met through online. Or like, dude, I enjoy it. I'm like, oh shit, man. Like, thanks. That's what I like. It's those little itty bitty pick me ups every once in a while that you need.
Yeah, can I tell you a secret, man?
Yeah.
It's not really a secret. It's on your show. It's not a secret anymore. We talk about this word and we throw it around, but we don't really do it. And that's called network.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how we keep this thing going. I don't mean go out and try to start a super group, That's not really what I'm saying. I'm saying that, we got opportunity, we got enough folks around us that we can trust to be authentic. It might not be 10 or 15 guys. Most of them might not be trustworthy. I don't know. But we have enough, I don't care if it's 2 or 3, there's enough around us that we can trust to say, you know what, give me your honest opinion. How you feel about this? Do you like this? What you're thinking about this? You know what? Let's work together and do some stuff, and kind of, and boost each other up. If you got that mindset, man, you're going to win every time. You're always going to grow. You're going to, evaluate yourself and deal with some stuff you got to change and work on and take some constructive criticism. You're always going to grow, man. And that's kind of what 2025 is for me right now. I'm collabing more than I probably have since 2020. 2021 was heavy. I was collaborating heavy. And then we had a major tragedy in our family in 2022, and that kind of set us back a little bit. But 2021, I was collaborating heavy. 2025 is probably the most I've been doing since then. I've been on the beat, so I'm in a lot of places helping people out, trying to boost their stuff and boost their cachet. Even before I boost my own, I'm boosting this, making sure they're getting shine and looks and whatever they want. And you know what? I feel good about it. I go to sleep at night. I feel good that I did something for somebody else. Do I need some stuff? Yeah, my YouTube numbers, they can use some help, but I'm helping somebody else get theirs up. And you know what? I feel good about it. That might sound weird, but he blowing smoke, he for real. That's how I am. I started show and then put it in somebody else's hand and let them run the whole show and take over and they directed the whole thing. All I did was spark the idea and put some people together. I love doing that. I'm gonna keep on doing that because that's where my heart is. So, but the network thing, let's do more of that in 2025. I believe we'll see great things come out of it if we can keep that going. Does that make sense?
I'm the same way. I try to like, hey, you come on my podcast. Like, if you ever need me to come on yours, I know you used to give me a hard time. I said, just remember.
Wait a minute. There was no hard time. You trying to bail out?
It gets closer. You said put it on the calendar. I don't live an organized. Yeah. I don't know if you notice. I don't live an organized life like that. You know what I mean? So
I don't. What do you mean? You are organized. You do a regular show, multiple shows a week. You're not organized.
That's about as organized as it gets. Is that I know I'm gonna press play at this time. You asked me, do you got a rundown? Or I think you said a rundown. I don't know what it was like. Did you
I
ask
just
me
wanted
about
to put a live draft schedule in your calendar. That's all I was talking about.
No.
Put
Before
it
that,
in
when
your calendar.
I asked you to come on, I think you asked me if I had a rundown. I was like, I don't.
Okay.
I don't,
Well,
I don't know what rundown. I don't know what that is because to me, I always said like I'll never know what's gonna come out my mouth. Like that's part of who I am. I never write down anything. I don't think of like anything. Even when I'm like interviewing, like every once in a while, like I will like for an athlete or something, right? I will do a little bit of research, but for the most part, I just try to have a conversation. Like I imagine I always want it to be like you walk into a bar, I walk into a bar, and I say, "What's up to you?" We don't know each other, and you say, "What's up to me?" And we like we are right now, just having a good conversation of God knows what. Like I didn't know what we was going to get into tonight, but I knew we was going to get into something good because you're the way you talk. And so I was like, "Hey, that's somebody I want to come on. I want somebody that is going to bring inspiration and talk about sports and life."
I appreciate you, man.
Things like that, my man.
I appreciate you, man.
That's how my brain works. So
yeah, I can do. I don't have to have a rundown, but I can remember all the stats and stuff that I would know.
I don't either. Sometimes I look it up. Yeah. I wish I had a Joe Rogan Jamie just so I can be like, Jamie, can you pull that up for me? But I don't have.
That's that's the future, right? That's the future.
Yeah,
we got to shoot toward that. We can have that. We can do that. We can have producers because we all need a producer. That's a fact.
Amen. Hey, what's up, Rob? Rob's Browns made a huge deal. Myles Garrett staying in town there. By the way, we didn't
talk to me about that.
What
he wanted to get out.
I did too. Right?
It's not that. I was talking about it last Thursday night on our show on T3. I thought he was like, okay, ready to kind of do his own thing. He got tired of sitting there and not winning, and he got the bag, and now he's gonna stay. I'm like, well, you still not gonna win. You know that, right? I'm just wondering if
you're a wrestling
financially.
You said you're a wrestling fan, right? Hey,
absolutely.
Man, everybody got a price.
He got a price. His price was, yeah. I don't foresee them doing anything for quite a while because they have one major problem. They can't solve the quarterback situation. You got guys, they got Facebook posts and stuff about I don't know the videos or pictures or still photos, but they got jerseys with all their quarterbacks' names on them. I'm like, that's nothing to be proud of. I wouldn't wear that out in the street, in or out of Cleveland. That's nothing to be proud about because that means that you can't solve the quarterback issue. There's other teams that can't solve certain areas. They ain't the only ones, but that quarterback situation, you got to be able to solve that. And that jersey was it was littered with names from the neck all the way down to the seam of the jersey. That's not cute. So glad Myles got his bag. He'll be set for a long time. His family gonna be set, but he might even be considered the best defensive guy in the game, perhaps. But that's probably gonna be about it for a while because they can't solve that until you can solve that.
Yeah,
I mean they had a top 5 defense the past. I think 2 or 3 years, the defense was top 5. So that's not really the problem. You probably made it better by, having a happy man that's paid and stuff. Okay, fine. But the issue was on the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to watch that happen. You know what I'm saying? So
speaking of solving it, what are your Giants going to do at that position?
Oh, my God.
That's what they got.
You want to see me explode on your show with the ratings? Let me get a drink first.
There's nothing. My fan base is used to somebody exploding, so
Okay. Well, let me offer a disclaimer first, so that won't happen again because I can't disrespect your show like that. But
all right, you can say whatever you want here. We drop F-bombs. We talk. We do. We do whatever.
I don't talk like that, but I don't talk like that. But I'm just saying. I want to make sure that I respect the house. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm doing now.
I was a sailor. I was a Navy sailor. My dad was a Marine, so I just came out the womb cussing. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of
copy that. I get it. I'm from New York. I get it. I'm doing some different this year. Where I'm getting more into the draft. I'm doing more analysis and stuff. This is my first year. That's what we're doing the live draft special. We're doing more stuff like that now. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to be more even keeled. I mean, I always feel like I was that kind of fan. I wasn't the kind of fan that painted my body and whatnot and went outside, in 30-degree weather with no shirt on. I was never that kind of fan. I don't have tattoos of Giants. I don't do all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying not to be too, imbalanced and whatnot. So I'm trying to think about the thing logically. We know that it's been about 13 years since we had legitimacy at quarterback, and then winning seasons and and some kind of a continuity and contention for Super Bowl. It's been over a decade now, so we know that we dropping the ball on getting that stuff straight. So you look at guys like a Cam Ward and a Shedeur Sanders. For me, I'm sitting here like, okay, this is not the strongest draft in the world. Everybody's saying it, so we kind of know that there's probably a consensus. So these guys are the cream of crop. If you want to add Jackson Dart, I like him, or Jackson Dart, excuse me, I like him. But do I like him in the top 10? Not totally sure about that. But we need to have a quarterback without question. I say this on the show all the time, and everybody gets quiet. Nobody ever contests it, but naturally they agree with me. But I went back and looked at all the losses that we had last year. 9 or 10 of those losses, I'm pretty sure that they were because of quarterback play. It wasn't because the O-line sucked. That's a narrative people use when a dump on the Giants. That's not really what happened. The O-line actually improved last year, believe it or not. I mean, I know we were rock bottom the year before, so doesn't say a whole lot, but we actually improved last year. It got better. Even guys like Greg Van Roten and right tackle, right guard. It actually got better. So it wasn't that. It was quarterback play. So, and we lost those 9 or 10 games by about 5 points or less. So think about that. If we had a viable quarterback who could hit open men, who didn't hold on to the ball too long, got the ball out of his hand quickly, made all his reads quickly, and had precision and reaction, we probably would have won at least maybe 9 or 10 games last season. I really believe that. So any quarterback that can do that is going to help us move on to the next level. And now we're in the year of the bridge. Now we got to have somebody to bridge us between where we want to be and hopefully the emergence of a rookie quarterback, which we probably need to get in this draft probably. So there's a lot of names out there. I like certain things about Cam and Shedeur, not everything. There's some comparisons I don't really care for with both guys. I think Shedeur, stature-wise, there could be a problem, but he can build on that, I guess. Cam Ward he's kind of have those intangibles, but I think discipline-wise, maybe footwork and just decision making, it could be bad if you don't work on the fundamentals and grow from that. We've seen it in Miami. So I like either one. At 3, I don't really want to be the guy that moves up to 1. I'm just be honest. That's not where I'm at with this. So if we're going to stay at 3 and one of those guys fall, that's fine. I look for us to trade back and get more pieces because we got a lot of gaps to fill. A lot. I see one of the guys commenting about the RB1. Carlos, you are totally wrong on this, sir. I'm sorry.
He's saying Carlos is saying sell, and he's
He said we'll have an RB1. Yes, we do. Tracy is that he's done. He had almost 1,200 yards last season. He's done that with a line that people talk about all the time. So he's definitely in that place where he can do that. So I'm not worried about that so much. I want to get another guy to kind of be that compliment to him. Hopefully we can get that in free agency or in the draft. We need to. Back quarterback, we got to get somebody to groom and to grow, but we need a bridge. We need a vet to bridge us now. So that opens up a wider conversation. Who's that veteran? Who's the guy that we need to bring in? So
is it Aaron Rodgers, man? Like, I mean, that's what the so-called media is saying. Now I say this: I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. Obviously, I'm a Packers fan, so like I followed Aaron Rodgers' career, all the way through here, and I'm a big Pat McAfee fan, so I catch him every Tuesday as well. So like, I'm like I don't know. I don't think Aaron Rodgers makes the Giants to Aaron makes sense. Aaron for the Giants like doesn't make sense. Like the team aspect, I get why they want Aaron Rodgers. Dayball and Shane are pretty much coaching for their jobs next year. They got to make the playoffs or be 9-8 or something. But for Aaron, the Giants aren't just Aaron Rodgers away from winning the Super Bowl. His contention at 40 years old is to win the Super Bowl. If he goes to the Giants, they're not a Super Bowl contender with him. with or without him. So why would he go there?
Not yet.
I think that, to me, I was telling you off air, the best place for him to go to is either Minnesota and he completes the Brett Favre trilogy, or Steelers. Because the trade they just made makes sense. Now, as far as the Giants, I don't like. Is it? It doesn't seem like they're linked to Sam Darnold.
Oh, it seems as though, I mean, you listen to people who are in media outlets, podcasts, and that kind of stuff. So take it what it's worth. But they don't seem to like him. I personally like what I saw from him in Minnesota last year, but I realized that O-line was a lot different than the O-line that we have, especially currently with all the free agents that are getting ready to get run out in the next month or so. So I like him, but does he want to come back to New York and kind of relive some of the horror stories he had to deal with? Yeah. I'm probably guessing that if he could avoid that, he probably wouldn't. His best spot is probably Indy, probably where he should end up. Is best for the organization and best for Darno. The Rodgers thing, I heard it. I think competency for the position is something that we didn't have before. So I see that escapability and mobility at 41. He ain't got it. So.
He don't have it like he used to, that's for sure. And he has this would be the year 2 coming off the Achilles, so he might.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that he'd want to do, but I think we can at least be competitive with a bridge quarterback. It doesn't have to be him. But there's some other options out there. No, man. No. Drew Lock, we already tried Drew Lock, remember? We already did that.
They're gonna bring him back.
Yeah, that's you heard that.
I mean, the only other options out there are Justin Fields or Russell Wilson.
It's not the only options, but those are definitely ones. I think Russell Wilson's name has been over the past 3 days. I heard his name more. I think it's a fantastic idea. Here's my question though. Now that we heard about DK going to the Steelers, does that mean Russell's going to be staying? Because they have some kind of rapport with each other. They used to work out together. Yeah, they did. So is he going to stay there for sure? I mean, people don't like Justin Fields a lot, but I mean, for me, I'm like, he's not worse than what we've had.
He's better than what you had, if you ask me.
We were at rock bottom, dude. So everybody is better than what we had. That's my whole point to this stuff. All we need to do is have somebody to bridge us until that rookie quarterback that I believe we need to get this year is ready to come in and take over. I don't know if anybody can do that day one. I'm not sure if any of the top guys can come in day one and take over. They're going to be taking hits, getting their confidence wrecked. I don't want to see that. So we got to have somebody to be a vet to come in and give them time to adapt to the NFL system, to the playbook, etc., and understand what it's like to play in the league at a faster pace than in college. So we need to have a vet. I mean, honestly, people are going to laugh, but I really believe this, that if we stop listening to all of the shock jocks on Twitter and stuff, we might check out some tape and whatnot. Guys, and this is, I'm being honest here, guys like Jameis Winston and Derek Carr, they are not, they can do things to help us move along. They're not perfect. They're not.
Derek Carr just reworked his deal. He's staying in New Orleans, but Jameis
he's staying. Yeah. Well, take his name off of the list. Then you know what I'm saying. I'm not ready for the Mac Jones experience, so I'm not really adding him into this. We can go ahead and cross his name. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, Jameis is going to throw more interceptions than or at least as many interceptions as touchdowns. I get that, but he's going to throw down the field. And my God,
fun to watch. Hey, Malik Neighbors, buy all the stock of Malik Neighbors at that point in time.
Didn't we need that? If you looked at any Giants game, you can see that the issue with the ball didn't go past it in the air for more than 20 yards the majority of the time. That is a problem. Jameis solves that part of the problem. Do we win more games? We have to. How many did we win? Yeah, we're going to win more than 3 games without question, obviously. But as far as us going to the Super Bowl, that's not what the quarterback is going to be here for this year. It's for us to get on the same page a little bit, move a little bit more down the field, get these guys acclimated. I mean, these guys, for example, a guy like a Jalen Hyatt, they ready to run him out of town.
Yeah,
like he's just trash. I'm like, I can't I can't call him trash. Look who we had to work with at quarterback.
Yeah,
we don't even know what we got going on here. We haven't got a chance to have somebody competent at quarterback so we can test this stuff out and see who these guys actually are. Some guys on the line, they have to go. They just ain't got it. But I can't put him in that category. So we just need somebody who can be competent. And I think Winston can do that. I think Rodgers can do it too. But he's not, like you said, if his aspiration is the Super Bowl, he may need to go somewhere else. Going to the Steelers, I'm not sure that's going to be the answer to that question because they're always great in regular season and they rely on their defense a lot. I think more than they probably should. Does he go there and they become a Super Bowl contender automatically? I don't think so. I think there's a lot more work to be done there. So I don't think
they made the playoffs with worse. And then
they make it. But what happens though? After they get it, it's sometimes some of it is running game. Some of it is it's a lot of different stuff. Drop passes by receiver. It's a lot of little different things and stuff. So, but if Rodgers goes there, he has a better chance than if he was coming to the Giants. To be honest, but
I agree. I forgot about Jameis out there. He could be a possibility for the Giants. It just seems like
you said Gardner Minshew. I can't believe you said that. Sell me on why we want to have Gardner Minshew. I haven't even thought about him. He ain't on none of my paperwork. I don't have there's nothing on here that says Gardner Minshew in none of this stuff. So tell me why you think we should have Gardner Minshew. I want to hear from you.
I was just throwing out guys that I knew were available. So Gardner's just one guy that I threw out that you said a veteran. You know, you said something too about guys sitting down. I think that's what the Raiders are about to do. I think the Raiders are bringing Geno in, and then they're going to draft a rookie, and he's going to teach that guy how to be a professional. Like I think too many times we rush these young especially at the quarterback position. They rush them out there. They're already on a shit team. Look at Bryce Young. Like his first year, they were ready to run him out of town. Then they bring him back, and he learned some stuff, learning from Dalton, and that team started playing better. Like we asked these young kids. Like I'm a Packers fan. I couldn't tell you if Caleb Williams is good or not. Like I don't know because I mean the offensive line was trash last year. You're rushing him out there. He's got to play. Like sometimes you just got to sit him down and just like, develop them. You know what I mean? Like Jordan Love wasn't ready to play his first year, but by God, now he's ready to play and he's been playing well. Like just sit him down. We used to do that, but now the way it works is like, we got to play him right away. He's going to play right away. And then, kind of learn on the job. And it usually doesn't. Sometimes you can break a kid's confidence.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what happened with Mac Jones in New England.
Yeah.
They kind of just threw him out there. Honestly, that's not. I envy anybody to even have to go through something like that. That's not cute. You know what I'm saying, because he wasn't ready for that, and they threw the playbook at him and said, "Just go, young man, go." And he was like, "I can't go."
And you're replacing Tom Brady at that, and you're the guy that's like replacing Tom Brady.
Why did you think that he was going to be able to come in and replace who they call the GOAT? You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, no offense to Jacoby Brissett, but he's not a mentor for this either. You know what I'm saying? Mac Jones deserved better than that. I'm glad he did a few good things when he was in Jacksonville. I don't know if he's going to. Well, I guess he's a free agent now, but you can't throw guys in like that. Bryce Young, another example. You can't just throw guys in and get. I mean, what happened to the guys who used to mentor and hold clipboard like Aaron was doing? I'm sure he wasn't through with it. I thought he was ready, but I mean, I think that made a difference. I'm not sure he would have had a Super Bowl if he hadn't had that time to sit there and assess and grow and learn. I'm not sure he would have one, honestly. Yeah. So it's a good thing, but why can't that model be used all the time? My hope is that Brian Daboll and Joe Shane can develop a quarterback. I know they came from some Buffalo Bills roots, so I know that Josh Allen is probably, if they can find somebody in the draft, it's going to be somebody like Josh Allen. I've said that off and on for a while. But can they develop a quarterback? Give him the time. At this point, I don't care who they draft. Do not put them in day one. Have them hold the clipboard like Aaron did for Brett Favre and let them grow and learn, and then put them out there. All the examples of people who got thrown out there, it's such a long list of guys that got their confidence shattered because they were out there before time and they weren't ready for the transition. It's sad, man, but those are great examples. Bryce Young was a great example of that. Absolutely.
Real quick, on the Giants front, just we kind of talk about what they need, but I want to look at the past real quick. Like, do you got a favorite Giant?
LT? Yes, it's really hard for me to pick anybody else. Just somebody else that's really, really close, but I picked LT, man. When I was growing up, that's what I remember. It was like the domination on defense. I said, I believe way back then, as a little kid, that defense wins your game. Now, we can argue that, but I'm like, what I was seeing kind of suggests that. And then he had guys like Banks over there with him, like they were out here just rumbling. So he was favorite. Eli, my next guy.
He was some mad dogs, as they would say.
Yeah, Eli's my next guy, man. I don't know about
Strahan.
No. I can't say over, but you know what I'm saying. As far as quarterbacks go, it's my favorite quarterback. You know what I'm saying, even over Sims and all of them. Yeah, straight hands. I mean, I like Carl Banks too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he followed me on Twitter. He followed me on Twitter, and I hear a lot of good things from him, man. Yeah, LT's the favorite back. I love me Banks and Strahan. I love Maurice Carthon. I love a whole bunch of Giants guys. I mean, Mark Bavaro. I love all of them guys, man. That's where I come from, man. That's my era right there. I grew up watching these guys play, man. So yeah, but Eli's my guy though. I love him, no doubt.
And
but LT's the guy.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that was yeah. I felt that a little bit. I think I understand why, because people are voting for this. You got to understand, people are voting, and who's voting? Who's voting on this? You know, it's like they kind of decided that his regular season record is probably something that's going to make him wait a little longer. He's going to get in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't really care how long it takes him to get in.
Yeah,
he's going to get in. I mean, you can't ignore what he's done.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
You can't ignore what he's done. Yeah. But I felt it a little bit. I woke up to some of the posts about the him not getting in. I was like, what? It kind of wrecked my day a little bit. It kind of threw me. I'm like, what? Wait a minute, what?
I get it from. So I get why he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I really do. Like, if you really think about it, no MVPs, like no. You know what I mean? Like, and if you in the era he played in as well, he was never the guy, right? Like, he was never, you know what I mean? There was 3 or 4 guys always ahead of him.
Oh yeah, all the time.
You know what I mean? So I get it, but he will get in. The two Super Bowl wins get him in. You know what I mean? He'll get in eventually.
It feels like this is
and stuff like that as well. So
yeah, he holds a few different records like that. But I think the biggest thing is that he didn't do it with the kind of glitz that people want from New York players. Because his thing was that I used to call him Easy E because he was a clutch. You know what I'm saying? In the fourth quarter, you can bank on him to get the job done. You know, and we've seen it in the Super Bowl. We've seen it in some playoff games. He was clutch, man. The fourth quarter when he showed up.
Twice that they went through Green Bay and beat Green Bay. You know, so yeah. They
beat them boys. Sure, I mean he was just clutch, man. And it's like, you know, I know that defense was probably the primary reason why in almost every case, including Super Bowls. So that's probably why he didn't get a lot of acclaim for it, man. But he did stuff. He did what New Yorkers are all about. They grind, man. They grind and they hustle and they get the job done. I mean, okay, I'm not a voter, so I can't say, you know what, you should put him in. I'm going to say this, though. I'm saying because I'm from there and I grew up in that life, literally, kind of glad I got out of it. But I grew up in that life. I know about grind and hustle and that kind of mentality. People talk about it like it's a catchphrase, but I live this thing. And to see a guy like him to actually personify that and do it, he don't look like his face. He don't look it, but he personified it and he did it. You know what I'm saying? He did it on a high level, and I think that's worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. He may take him a minute to get in there, but he did that. Grind, hustle, resilient. He did all of that stuff when it counted, when it mattered. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about him all you want to. Regular season record, I own that. It's a 500 record. You know what I'm saying? But in the fourth quarter, what did he do? You know what I'm saying? Passing yards, touchdowns, Giants history. What did he do? He earned it, man. So spit on him all you want, but he earned it. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm always giving him his props. Always.
I like it. I just got a couple more questions for you before we get up out of here, Mr. Yu. Earlier, I heard you said you started a wrestling podcast. You still a fan? Still a fan of wrestling?
I've been a fan since literally I was in my mother's womb. This is no joke. I was in my mother's womb and I was hearing the sounds of wrestling and chair shots when I was in the womb. My mother and my grandmother my mother's from the Virgin Islands and my grandmother was from Panama, and they were rabid wrestling fans. I'm talking about like Fred Blassie and Bruno Sammartino. They were like heavy. The Wild Samoans, Bruiser. I mean, they were into it heavy. So I was hearing these sounds of this stuff as a young child. So we're talking about 50 plus years I've been a wrestling fan. So I decided I was a friend of mine, and I hope you don't mind me telling the story, but
go ahead. No,
he could do some personal, emotional stuff. I knew he was a big wrestling fan. So you know what? I kind of felt it almost. It wasn't a dream. But I kind of felt like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and start a wrestling show and have him join me. And we called it I forgot the name of the show. Oh, the Thursday Night Tag Team. And we did it for about 6 months, 7 months, something like that. And then I said, you know what? I let him take over. I said, you know what? It's time for you to take over, man. He'd be like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. It's time for you to take over, man. You got this. It's your thing. So he and a buddy of mine that I put them two guys together. They out here interviewing wrestlers, changed the whole name of the show. They got graphics and all these new guests coming in, and I got all these new fans. They just take it and they just running with it. And I'm like, love this. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. This ain't got nothing to do with me. I just want to just help folks get over. You know what I'm saying? And out here doing it right now. So yeah, I'm a big wrestling fan, man. It hasn't changed. I'm a big fan. I mean, I watch much as I can locally out here. Try to watch all the wrestling I can. I can't see some stuff because of restrictions and streaming services and that kind of stuff. But yeah, big wrestling fan. I know you are. I see you got the world champion in the background behind you over there. So
oh yeah. Oh no, this right here is the Cubs. But I got some belts here and stuff like that. But I'm a diehard. I am a big WWE fan or wrestling fan and stuff. I was going to ask you about the turn of the century in John Cena turning heel.
Wow.
What's your thoughts on the biggest heel turn since Bash at the Beach?
Yeah. I mean, well, we've been begging for I don't know how long. They've been wanting since what his last heel turn was what, 2005. Don't let me.
I mean, he wasn't even really a heel then. Like he was like a tweener, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like an anti-hero type of deal or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, this was huge. I think they were trying to go for that. They were trying to make this like the big, like trying to match it up against like a Hollywood Hogan. I don't know if they accomplished that. I know a lot of the kids was like distressed and stressed out and cried and throwing stuff at the TV. Make a wish. I don't know how all this is going to play out. You know what I'm saying? But it was big, and I think at this time, some things in wrestling get stale sometimes. So this was a huge situation. It'd been great if it happened 4 years ago. That'd have been better, more impact. I think it'd have more of a because of where he was in the picture. Well, I say 4 years ago, maybe a little bit earlier than that too. But when he was wrestling more frequently, it probably would have had more of an impact. But I mean, hey, we here with it. The final boss is out here pulling strings, and it was huge. I honestly wasn't ready for it. I'm like, why this rapper out here in the ring? I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what is going on here? I was expecting a run in. I'm like, why are they here? And honestly, I've been watching wrestling literally my entire life. I didn't see it, man. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Right? I think that's what made it so shocking.
I didn't know. I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, I've said this. It needs to go a while. Like this can't be his last retirement year, right? Like that's what he keeps saying. Like this is supposed to be.
How though? How do you do that?
I don't know.
This is already locked in. He said this is the end. At the end of at the end of the year, that's it. So I guess that'd be Survivor Series. I guess that'd be the last.
Heels lie, Mr. Yu. We know that heels lie.
That's true. They lie. They lie.
But that's the thing is there was things there that we just didn't pick up on, right? Like how heel of it was at him to just like put himself into the elimination chamber. Heels do that. Faces don't do that. We just was like, that makes sense, right? It's John Cena. Like he on his retirement tour. Yeah, sure, okay. You know what I mean? But there was signs that we missed.
There were some signs.
We just missed it. Now we look back. Let me ask you this: do you think it? Because like, Hogan, like changed the industry, and maybe because of the time period. Do you think this will change the industry? Like as far as that, like we just can't tell because it just a week here has passed since it's happened, and we know the outcome that had happened with Hogan.
I'm not sure it has that kind of game changing ability. They're talking it up that way, and because they're talking about it so much, that's how I know that they are just hoping that's what happens. When Triple H is talking that much, I'm like, okay, you hope that that's what's going to happen. He even got Michael Cole. He's in his ear every week talking about how it's going to change the industry. Okay, that's you hope that's what happens. That's some more VKM. I hope. Let's kind of push that to make it happen. But with Hogan, it was like you knew it was because look at all that his hands were into. Look at all that he was doing as a face and all the organizations and all the things that he was doing. It was a legit shocker. You know what I'm saying? And to do that on WCW, on basically in the enemy camp, it was just bigger. I don't think it's a good comparison. It was just bigger. So how did this change? I don't know. The only way I can see that this changes is if The Rock is bringing in somebody else into his fold, and they're starting to like kind of completely take over, hijack the title picture. Now I'm sitting here booking now. I'm just fantasy booking. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just fantasy booking.
I said this if I had the pen, and maybe it was just too much already. We're getting the shock of the Cena heel, and they wanted to let that run in. But eventually, we'll see. I think we'll see a beatdown of where Cena's and The Rock are beating down Cody Rhodes, and then we hear the Tribal Chiefs music hit, and that'll set up. He makes the save that sets up Rock, Roman, Cody, Cena.
There's gonna be some eyes on that for sure. I just don't know how it changes the industry yet. It's kind of hard to see that.
Yeah.
Like I said, they have to basically hijack the whole title picture. They have to take over all. I'm talking about like all the championships. That would change the title picture. Even honestly, even in the height of Roman's run with the bloodline, they didn't even really do that. So this opportunity for that, if The Rock does that in this iteration of this thing they're doing here with the Final Boss storyline, and they do that, and they hijack all of the major titles and stuff, well, that's going to change your interest. It's going to change your look, your profile. So that can be a possibility. But other than that, just Cena turning, it's like, okay, I'm not sure yet, but like I can't see where it changes the entire industry yet. I don't quite see it yet. We'll see.
Yeah,
stay around longer, like you said.
We'll wait and see. Yeah. Last question. So before we get out of here, is I got to ask you, like, when you do those inspirational, like, how does that come to you? Like, it sounds like some of it is like you pull from experiences, but like when you're going in that day, like to press record, like, do you like, hey, today I'm going to talk about, like, I already know I'm going to talk about, this type of thing. Like, how do you come up with that?
The majority of the time is coming out of, I'm trying to say this without getting too deep and spiritual with people and stuff. I guess to just kind of keep it simple. But a lot of it comes out of a lot of reading, a lot of meditation. I'm an avid reader. I believe the leaders are readers. So I read a lot of business and self-help and inspirational books and that kind of stuff. And a lot of those things, they give me ideas and concepts and analogies and that on top of just what I'm seeing in the world around us. I'm like, okay, some of these things, this goes together with this, and I kind of put it together. And then I don't get on to record those kind of episodes without some kind of base, knowing what I want to say, because rambling is not a good thing for podcasting. so I want to make sure that I have a starting point and I have an end point. My middle, sometimes, I'll be honest, I start hearing a lot of stuff. I start going off and sharing different things. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, okay, don't forget where you put be ending up at. So I've done that. I still do it sometimes today. So just be honest. I don't have that down pat yet, but I always have a start and an ending. And that's kind of where that's coming from. I see a lot of stuff around us, man. I see a lot of things I hear from people, friends like you, man. Little things. And sometimes they filter out into these kind of episodes, man. These are kind of inspirational teachings. And so I'm like, you know what? People need to hear this kind of stuff because that's what I'm hearing come from people. They're dealing with, I'm I'm an ordained minister, so I hear from people all the time about things they're dealing with. And you know what? Sometimes it comes out. I'm like, I'm gonna speak to this because I think people want to hear this. They want to hear some solutions, or at least some ideas on how we can, be better in area A or area B. So it's not. Sometimes it's intense because I'm studying a lot and I got paper and all kind of notes and stuff. It can be pretty intense sometimes, but most times it's just a few blurbs. I'm kind of flowing out of my experience and flowing out of what I remember. That's why if you watch T3, this is just about sports. But if you watch, you can see that I'm talking about stuff, stats. I'm not reading off of paper. Those numbers are in my head somewhere. I'm like, what's going on in there? So a lot of numbers. I mean, these random numbers. I'm like, why do you know this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that with that too. Random quotes that I read in books and random scriptures out of the Bible, different things. They just come to me, and I start talking about them. And I'm not reading on paper. It comes to me, and that's how the episodes get done, man. So it's really weird, but that's kind of my rhythm. That's kind of how I flow, and I've been doing it for a bit now, and I think it's working. According to what you said, I think it's working very well. So I'm gonna keep it going.
It is working really well. Last question for you. The Knicks this year.
Gee.
What's your? They can't beat the real good teams.
Oh, not the Knicks, boy! I was hoping I had to avoid that thing. Honestly, I'm struggling here because when you are a team that hasn't, I was 2 years old when they last won. That's a long time ago. I'm not a spring chicken. If you sitting there on a franchise with that kind of legacy, it's like, man, you should be thinking a lot differently about how you're going to do business.
Yeah,
because that's a long drought. Is it the longest one? Maybe not. There's some teams in the NBA that have a longer drought than that. But my point is that there should be some kind of urgency, and I don't see it. And they tricked me last year. They had me believing that they had that urgency. They kind of said certain things, and they acted like, you know what? We're ready to turn this thing around and break this really, really long bad habit that we got going on of not winning beyond the playoffs. And they lied to the people. They tricked people, fans like me, who've been following the orange and blue their entire life, like me. You tricked the people. You ain't got no urgency. The move that you made tells us that you don't have any urgency. And now we're
you don't like Cat coming in. You liked Randall or Kid?
Yeah, but that's not urgency. I was down with moving Randall for a lot of other reasons. I was down with that, but that's not urgency. But Randall was going one way or the other. Getting Cat was good, but it's not urgency because you knew that what Cat can do and what he couldn't do.
Yeah.
You knew what his limitations were. So you were sitting there. What were you hoping for? That Mitch Robinson was going to come in and take that spot in the middle? Is that what you thought? Oft injured Mitchell Robinson. Did you really think that? Really? So there's no urgency. You didn't solve the problem. There were guys out there that could have solved that. There was a whole bunch of names. I can't remember all the names now. You even think about trying to get one of those guys. You didn't even ponder that. You just went ahead and waited for Mitch Robinson to come back. You got cats. Oh, yeah, we in now. But you can't beat Cleveland. You can't beat Boston. And sometimes you can't beat Orlando. I don't know what's going on with you. So this is like, I don't know what's going to happen, man. If you can't get past
second round exit,
that's not progress though.
It's not the same.
That's not progress. I mean, I don't want to get bounced in the Eastern Conference Finals either. That'll hurt even more. But this is not progress. And now Brunson is hurt. I mean, like, so now what we going to do? Josh Hart can't take over that spot. So what we going to do now? You know what I'm saying? They haven't planned well for what the issues are, and they always had a short roster. We matched up. We talked about it last year in the offseason. The rosters always seem to be one of the shortest in the whole league. We had these guys that can't get you with 2 or 4 points a game on the bench. It's like you're not planning for.
Well, I think that's Tom Thibodeau's coaching style, though. Like I guess you could say I'm a Bulls fan. I used to be a real good Bulls fan, but not anymore. Oh
yeah.
I can't get on board with them. But Tibbs, coached in Chicago, and like that was his style. Then was like he was only going to go 8 deep. You know what I mean? And then it might only be 7 deep in the playoff, 8 deep in the playoffs, maybe 9 deep in the regular season. Like he doesn't go very deep, and he demands a lot of his players.
Yes,
sometimes a little bit too much, especially during the regular season. But I love Tibbs. I think he's a hell of a coach, and I kind of root for the Knicks just for him.
I like him too, man. I think he just works the starters too hard, man. I mean, all these teams, man, they have guys that can play off of the bench. I mean, same people we talk about, the Cleveland and the Boston, they operate through depth. They don't just have their starters running out there playing all these heavy minutes. They don't do that kind of stuff. Why are you trying to do it? You know what I'm saying? It's not good. It hasn't worked for you. How many years are we talking about now? I think we're going into 4 years.
Or 10 years, total, like 10, 15 years as a head coach.
He did it wherever he went. It's his thing.
Yeah.
He ran and started them to the ground. So I don't know how many years it's been wherever he's been at, he's been doing that. And it's not a good situation. I don't know what the future is for the Knicks. I feel like we have a good base of some stuff, but it's like, man, I don't understand why we're still here. And now I'm not despondent yet. I'm kind of like, I'm a little down. Like, are we going to actually do something this year? Or are we going to try to this again next year and try to reboot again with the same people next year? Is that what we're doing? I'm just kind of wondering because we got some good pieces. We could use some help at the wing. I said that last year. We didn't get that. Some help down in the paint. Guys that can score and body people. We could use that. Play some defense. We didn't solve any of those things. So I'm like, so what are we going to do? Wish I had an answer, brother. But right now I'm kind of just sitting and waiting. What's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. I got no predictions.
Life is a New York fan, you know.
You got that right, brother. You called it, man. You called it. That's for real.
Mr. Yu, I appreciate you joining me, man. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, we're on all the socials, man. Everything except Snapchat. We're on all the socials that they call me Mr. Yu. On X, they call me Mr. Yu, MRYU. Of course, our show Cheat 3, that Thursday night thing, on every Thursday night, 7 p.m. EST. Looking for you to be on there real soon, man. Can't wait to have your insights on some stuff Packers-wise as well. But we're everywhere, man. So thanks for tuning in. Check out our YouTube channel at They Call Me Mr. Yu. Hit the subscribe button. Let us know you love the content, man. Stay up with us. A lot of exciting stuff coming down in 2025. So we're excited about it, man. And glad to be on here with you, man. Thank you for the time today, too. Appreciate it, man.
No, I appreciate you joining me. That's it, folks. I'll be back on the LTS show tomorrow night, 8:00 Central, 9 Eastern on the LTS network. Other than that, I'll be back Wednesday night for a brand new episode of Head Kicks and Haymakers as well. We'll talk post UFC 311 right here at 8:00 Central, 9 Eastern on Wednesday night. A lot to talk about on Wednesday with the boys. Ant is the new UFC light heavyweight champion. So we'll talk all about that Wednesday night. Other than that, folks, we'll be back with new guests hopefully next Sunday, 8:00, 7:00 Central, 8 Eastern. Be a friend, tell a friend, like, subscribe, share. We'll see you then.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.
Good stuff, man.